Walking in the Dark. I'm Mike Morrison with 2 minutes of insight and inspiration. Welcome to 2 Minute Transformation. I was visiting a friend several years ago when his lights went out. It was pitch dark in that house, and his then 11-year-old son was in the basement near the breaker box. My friend went to the basement door and yelled down for his son to check the breakers. After a minute or so of listening to his son bang and crash around in the dark, he asked him if he was okay. "I can't see a thing down here," he said. "Hold on, I'm going to throw down a flashlight," my friend replied. A second later, I could hear the thud of the rubber-shelled light hit the floor. "Did you get it?" my friend asked. "Yes." A moment later, we were again entertained by the bumping and banging noises coming from the basement. My buddy finally said, "What's going on down there?" Annoyed, his son fired back, "I can't see a thing," to which my friend responded, "Try turning on the flashlight, that might help." I have to tell you, I've seen replays of this story dozens of times. The situations are all different, the circumstances are all different, the people are all different, but they have one thing in common. Some people will trip all over themselves in the darkness and ignore the source of light they hold in their hand. Jesus says it doesn't have to be this way. In John chapter 8, verse 12, Jesus is talking to a woman who has been caught in the very act of sin. She has been drugged, wrapped in a sheet, kicking and screaming, and thrown at the feet of Jesus. Jesus turns the tables on her accusers. Now, every person I've ever known who has been called out for their sin can almost quote this account chapter and verse, but it's funny, they leave out the most important part. Jesus, with great mercy, sends her away forgiven and charges her not to return to her sin. And then turning to his disciples, Jesus says to them in verse 12 from the Message, "I am the light of the world. No one who follows me stumbles around in the darkness. I provide plenty of light to live in." So if you find yourself stumbling around in the dark, try the flashlight and be transformed.